From Hollywood, time once again for Money TV. I'm Don Baillargeon. Thanks for joining us. Money TV is a program all about money and what makes it happen. Well, now that 2017 is firmly and thankfully in our collective rearview mirrors, maybe, just maybe, we could start concentrating on some positive news for a change, right? Well, as they like to say in certain areas of New York City, forget about it. 2018 is already shaping up as becoming the most negative news cycle in history. Now look, we all know President Trump's a unique personality, to say the least. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. He doesn't back down from or ignore criticism. If you hammer Trump, he's going to hammer you back, and he's redefining the term being presidential. Now the left and its partner, the mainstream media, well, they're only too happy to feed us a steady diet of negative Trump stories because they're aware there's a rabid audience out there, so filled with hatred for the man that they'll watch and read anything that portrays Trump in a bad light. Negative Trump stories are good for ratings. It's really too bad because by any measure, the first year of the Trump administration is marked by a string of kept campaign promises and successes. Business is booming in America. The stock market is up dramatically. ISIS, well, they're all but dead. The disastrous Obamacare mandate has been eliminated. Taxes have been cut. Millions of jobs have been created. The U.S. has pulled out of what were bad deals in the Paris Climate Accord and the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Travel into the U.S. from countries with terrorist ties has been made difficult. And we've stopped apologizing to the rest of the world for, one, being American, and two, for looking out for our best interests. What a concept. Now, we've had 15 months of speculation that the Russians must have had something to do with the elections. Millions of dollars have been spent, and still, after all that time and money, as they like to say in certain areas of New York City, forget about it. So the news cycle has shifted in 2018. Now the left and its partner, the mainstream media, have figured out they'll attack the president's mental health and capacity. Because after all, anyone in Washington who actually keeps their campaign promises, well, they've got to be nuts, right? Now here's something that's not nuts at all. It's our toll-free number, good from anywhere in the world you're watching the television program. 888-259-4449 to get free information about our featured guests. When you do call, be sure and ask to be added to the subscription list of our Money TV newsletter. Again, toll-free from anywhere in the world, 888-259-4449. Visit us at MoneyTV.net. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Well, I am very pleased to introduce our first guest this week, back on the program after an extended absence, Mr. Riggs Eckelberry. Riggs is the CEO of a company called Origin Clear. Their stock symbol is OCLN. Riggs, it's great to see you again.
Don, it's such a pleasure. Thank you.
Well, you know, it's been, like I said, about 4.5 or 5 years since we last had you on the program. You had a different name then, a different ticker symbol. Why don't you bring us up to date about what Origin Clear is all about?
So much to say.
So much.
So much.
5 years worth.
I think that when we last spoke, we were just pivoting into water.
Right.
Because the company was started with this wonderful thing called algae. Mm-hmm. And algae was going to change the world. Well, then fracking came along and changed the whole dynamics of petroleum. Price, of course, went down below $50, and algae couldn't compete at the time. Okay. And we had to make some tough decisions. Today, the leaders in algae are no more. We managed to adapt and pivot. And we found that our technology to pull out the algae from the water was useful to pull out contaminants from water of any kind, including production oil, oil from production, right. Frack flowback water, all that stuff that comes out of the fracking well, and various organics like manure or palm oil residue and all these things. So really nasty, dirty, oily water. We could harvest the contaminants the same way we were harvesting the algae back in the day.
That's kind of amazing, because if I remember from going back 4 or 5 years ago, you discovered this new technology somewhat by accident, didn't you?
I tell the story of my brother Nicholas was experimenting in the back of the office, the warehouse, and he was like, and I said, what the heck are you doing? He goes, I have no idea. But 4 months later, we filed the patent, which was awarded, of course, all over the world. And it's formed the basis for roughly 30 patent applications and patents that we have today. And the interesting part is that the technology became proven very, very quickly.
Right.
But something about the water industry, it takes 12 to 14 years to get adoption of a new technology in water. Why? Public health, size of projects, how to scale, and it's a very conservative industry. They don't have motivation to mess with people's health, right? So we basically started becoming more like a biotech, where years and years and years go by before you can finally get your payoff. In 2015, we decided that was not acceptable.
Okay.
So while we continued the technology, and today we are now at a break even on the technology, and we expect a 7-figure 2018, and it's the first time I'm saying this publicly. We hope to make more than $1 million in the technology gross and to be very profitable in 2018.
Congratulations.
Meanwhile, thank you, in 2015 we decided to acquire companies in the water service industry that would be agnostic, because we didn't need more technology, we had plenty of that, and they would A, furnish revenue, but B, over time build a captive channel for our technology.
So with the previous technology we were working with algae, the target date for profitability was further down the road than what you're seeing now.
Well, you see, algae was interesting because it was happening so quickly.
Right.
It was like the .com of green.
Exactly.
But then it just got exploded. It just got sideswiped. Like you're walking down a street and a truck comes along, and algae then became a science project. So it had tremendous potential. We entered the water industry, and I love it. It's a $1 trillion industry.
Absolutely.
But it's antiquated. And we actually have plans to do something about that antiquated character, which those are future plans. We won't discuss it now. But the fact is, it's a very slow-moving space, but a huge, huge industry, ripe for a whole lot of disruption.
Well, any futurist that you talk to or listen to a lecture by a futurist are always alarmed by looking into the future. Their biggest concern is always accessibility of clean water, and you have a technology that can help make what was no longer clean water clean again.
So true. By 2030, 40% more demand for water than there will be supply, and half of all world citizens will live in water-stressed areas, and that's really going to threaten lives.
Well, this program's seen all over the world, 180 million households, 75 countries. Some of those countries are in water-stressed areas and would be very open to your technology. Where are you marketing this right now? Is it strictly domestically? Are you going international? What are your plans?
Well, I'm an old .com guy, so I go for the early adopters. And so we found that the U.S. is very slow to adopt. There's only one country in the world that recycles more than 20% of its water, and that's Israel.
Really?
The second that does 20% is Spain. The U.S. is 1%.
Oh my gosh.
We're complacent. There's no problem. Water, we got lots of it, right?
Unless you live in Flint, Michigan.
And then you got too much of the bad water, right?
Exactly.
So, and here, Flint was a perfect example where 2 years went by before an emergency was declared. Meanwhile, people's health was destroyed. And in fact, we have an initiative about that. But the point is this: when you have this water problem, how do you solve it? Our technology is basically licensed. But where do we go with it? We go where there's demand. We found demand in Asia. Malaysia, Thailand, India, China, it's taking off. We're now shipping at scale in China. We have a fantastic partner in India who's just going full speed ahead. Our Malaysian partner, where we have a joint venture actually, is actually building out. So it's Asia really that's strong for us.
Well, again, those represent areas where water is stressed as it is right now, and the future of water is even more stressed. So I would see where you're saying they're early adopters. So you're anticipating 7-figure revenues this year, profitability. That's exciting.
Well, for the technology division, and then we have the Origin Clear Group, which is the companies we're buying. We expect to acquire more companies this year after the first one we got. So we believe that we are going to have profitability overall. Technology, the group, and corporate, and with some interesting new initiatives that I'll be talking about.
Well, I was going to go there, and I'm glad you did, because I know that we've had private conversations off the air that we can't have with you right now. We will very soon, but there are exciting times on the horizon.
This is an exciting time right now, the second in finance and all kinds of interesting areas, and we will take it offline.
Origin Clear, OCLN is their stock symbol. One great thing about Mr. Eckelberry, he comes on quite often to tell us how the company is progressing. I'm sure we'll see you next week to talk about what we just said we couldn't talk about yet. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Don.
And joining us on the phone now is Mr. Greg Lambrecht. Greg is the CEO of a company called Single Point Incorporated. SING is their stock symbol. Greg, welcome back to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me, Don.
Well, Greg, pretty exciting times at Single Point. You've announced a national TV campaign with Shark Tank original member Kevin Harrington. Tell us about that.
Well, we're really excited. We're going to be filming with Kevin on the 19th, and after that, we're going to put out national TV ads on hopefully CNN and Fox and other financial networks. So we're going to show the customers how they can download our Bitcoin platform, if you will, onto their mobile phone. So very exciting.
Well, it really seems that Bitcoin is beginning to develop mainstream traction.
Well, there's no question. And, we put out a press release in 2014 that we wanted to, use Bitcoin to solve some of the banking problems in the cannabis industry. But quite frankly, at that time, no one really knew what Bitcoin is. So now it's a perfect storm with our, ability, our technology ability, and also having Bitcoin such a hot sector to go ahead and do this now. So we think that we have first mover advantage, and the best is yet to come.
Well, of course, last month we were on location at a dispensary in Los Angeles where we saw a demonstration of your Bitcoin payment app to make a cannabis purchase. Now, how soon is that app going to be ready for the market?
Yeah, so we're planning on to go ahead and put this app out in this quarter. So it could be as soon as 30, 60 days.
Well, Greg, back to the subject of Kevin Harrington. What are you hoping to accomplish with that campaign?
Well, what we're trying to do is we're trying to show people, really how they can download our app, if you will, to their mobile phone and have Bitcoins on there. And then from there, they can go to dispensaries and use that to purchase cannabis.
Of course, Kevin himself has been a vocal advocate of Bitcoin, hasn't he?
Well, that was the great thing. I mean, I don't think we could have found anybody better to evangelize, our product and our platform. He's been in Bitcoin for a long time, and of course, he's a great national spokesperson.
Once again, Single Point Incorporated, SING is their stock symbol. Greg, exciting update. Congratulations on that development. Thanks so much for joining us.
Well, thank you. And of course, Sing is having a great day on the market, and go Sing.
I've had this problem.
Big problem.
I really needed
a good investment forum.
And I kept searching and searching.
There are so many choices.
It's really hard to find one that has all the things on my list.
But I finally did it.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
If you were looking for one as well,
look no further.
Here's a really good one.
Just use mine.
Use mine.
I'm very satisfied.
Definitely recommend. Problem gone.
thank you.
Have you heard the news? There's only one flat-fee news distribution network on the market. It's called AccessWire, and it's exclusively from Issuer Direct. Any day, anytime, the AccessWire News Network can deliver your press release to more than 1,500 media outlets in 98 countries. AccessWire also delivers real-time engagement analytics. You will learn who read and shared your press release and more. Best news of all, getting started is easy. Visit accesswire.com and extend your company's news reach today.
Hi, we're back. Thanks for staying with us, and joined in studio now by two executives from a company called Solar Integrated Roofing Corporation. SIRC is their stock symbol. Immediately to my left is David Savarese. He's the president of the company. David, good to see you again.
Good to see you as well.
And of course, the CEO, Dave Massey. Dave, always a pleasure.
Great, thanks, Don.
Dave, just catch up and tell us again what the company does.
We're a residential re-roofing and solar company. We find putting together a roof solar package works out great for the homeowner. Kind of sets us aside from just the roofing company and the solar company. I call it the fire and rain company, where rainy days, we get a lot of roof calls. Sunny days, when the air conditioner goes up, we get a lot of solar calls.
Okay. Now, David, you just joined the company as company president. We talked about that last week.
Yes, sir.
You're expecting some pretty serious impact to revenues this year, maybe even coming up with a number, I'll say doubling, and I'll let you correct me if I'm wrong. But tell us how you're going to accomplish that.
Yeah, we've got a number of key new managers and operations coming into place. We've also put together an entire new marketing budget and marketing plan. We've hired one of the top SEO firms in the country. I've already got a VP of marketing and sales that's on board. I've got an entire new sales team, 2 or 3 more guys coming on, and we also just brought on, starting February 15th, the director of operations.
Now, we talked last week about the things about solar integrated roofing that attracted you to the company. So you're making a similar sales pitch to these people that you're bringing on.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And so, you know, there's a lot more benefit for them to come on to, obviously, a publicly traded company. We're putting a stock option plan together, so we're incentivizing them that way as well. It's really about creating a culture and creating an environment where it's a winning team. And so that's really the foundation that we want to create with the company.
Dave, it sounds to me like we're getting ready for an explosion of activity. I mean, there seems to be so much going on with the company. We've been covering you for a year or so, and we've seen, of course, you have a great history. Company's been around for a long time, but you're entering a new phase, aren't you?
Hey, Don, you can feel the excitement in the office. You can feel it with the crews. I can't tell you the difference that Dave's made in the short period of time he's been there, but we're anxious to keep the public updated on what's going on. But yes, we have a lot of really exciting things going on. I'm truly excited.
I know the company's always been very marketing oriented. What kind of changes, or let's say additions, are you making to the marketing campaigns, David?
Yeah, well, I think first off is really on the SEO side, bringing on a real solid SEO team. Currently, our website is not generating a lot of leads.
Okay.
And so that's really kind of the main focus right now, is revamping the website, getting that up to speed, and starting to really push some traffic through there. We've also got some really unique marketing strategies when it comes to different mailers and doing radio and some things that are not really the traditional way of doing things. You know, I've always come from a place where I think a little bit outside the box, and I think that if we're just following the herd, then we're not actually leading. And so I think for me, it's important that we're actually leading this industry and paving the way for people to follow.
Well, you're absolutely right, because as you said, SEO, or search engine optimization, is so important now, because people, they're checking everything on the internet. They're checking everything, whether it be Google or Bing or any other search engine they use. They're looking for ideas, they're looking for influence, they're looking for, maybe they just type solar, and you got to come up in the first 10 searches, or you might not even get looked at. Yeah,
absolutely. It is a little bit saturated, but being in business since 1989, we've got a really strong foundation and a great reputation with the company. We've got an A+ rating on the BBB. We've got 5-star Yelp reviews, a lot of great Google reviews and Facebook reviews. And also the social media platform is going to be a big play for us. Working with real professionals in that arena that can tie all those things together is only going to allow us to see some more success.
Well, those guys are amazing. I mean, I've had very, very many conversations with SEO people, social media people, I call them Google people, so to speak, and the things that they can accomplish with a few keywords is just astronomical.
Yeah, one of the major other things we're going to be working on is our referral base and our customer base. We've got over 14,000 customers, and only about 2,000 of them have solar. We've got a huge opportunity to turn back around to our 12,000 customers that don't have solar, and offer them new products and doing some incentives for them to be able to come on board, getting solar as well.
Well, one of the oldest adages in business is, of course, the best way to find new business is people you've done business with already.
Absolutely. Yeah. Dave has built a great business and a trusted foundation with our customer base, so there's no reason really for them to go anywhere else.
Once again, Solar Integrated Roofing Corporation, stock symbols SIRC. Lots of exciting things going on with this company. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate
it. Thanks, Don.
And joining us on the phone now is Mr. Brad Moines. Brad is the CEO of a company called Digitrade Financial Corporation. Their stock symbols DIGAF. Brad, welcome back to the program.
Thanks for having me, Don.
Well, of course, you folks are involved in the cryptocurrency or Bitcoin space. And the last time you were on the program, Brad, you had correctly predicted that the Bitcoin was going to touch or surpass the $20,000 mark. You were absolutely correct, but I think it happened a little quicker than you thought.
You know, it sure did, Don. At the time of that particular interview, the price was around $7,000. I had a target price based on a gold calculation that it would break $20,000. My time horizon was more or less 18 to 24 months. and it happened in less than 30 days.
Wow, that's amazing. Have you ever seen anything like this in any industry space, frankly?
You know, no, I have not. It kind of takes me back to the late 90s with the .com, whereby all the Googles and whatnot were coming online. But this is something a lot bigger than that. So, no, I've never seen anything with this type of growth in such a short period of time in my 20 years career.
Now, what's the latest with Digitrade Financial Corporation since we last spoke, Brad?
Well, the exchange platform is experiencing tremendous growth. With Bitcoin going mainstream, what we're seeing is an absolute surge of new customer signups. And the process to get verified is taking time. We're having to, add new corporate resources on the back end. And more or less, it's just a huge amount of attention, trading activity, new users, new customers, people seeking advice. It's just absolutely incredible as to what's happening on the platform.
Well, it's kind of interesting you made the analogy to the .com era, because there was a period of time when nobody had an email address, and then it seemed like in 12 to 24 months, everybody was getting one. So this is kind of the same phenomenon that's going on with Bitcoin.
Bitcoin and some of the other digital assets and cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, like Litecoin. Also, there's a few new assets that are coming on stream they're like new applications. They're a store of value, they're an application. And what's interesting is that they're a lot more valuable than an email address. People will protect their digital wallet. They'll put a two-factor Google security code on it and protect it, whereas email, it's more of a transmission of information. So people are protecting their wallets because there's a value hidden, inherited behind it.
Once again, the company is Digitrade Financial Corporation, DIGAF, their stock symbol. Brad, we're looking forward to more updates from you. A great one today. Thanks so much.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Take care. Joined now in studio by Michael Markowski. He is a startups expert with a company called Trophy Investing. Michael, welcome to the program.
Glad to be here, Don.
Now, you've got 41 years experience in the stock market industry. You were listed by Fortune magazine as one of the top 50 great investors. Can you explain what a startup is and why the audience would be interested in investing in startups?
Well, a startup is it's a startup provide opportunities for you, an investor, to invest in the very ground floor of a business.
Mm-hmm.
And they can invest a small amount and make a lot. Okay, it's the best sweet spot to take risk is when a company, you're a founder or a startup or a seed round or whatever. Yeah, so that's what the opportunity is. Now, what happens is that because of the transformation of the digital economy and the emergence of these disruptors that have apps, it's gotten much more popular, startup investing.
Mm-hmm.
And you can invest small amounts to make a lot of money. A good example here is take a look at table 1 here.
Okay.
This table shows if you'd invested $100 or $1,000, the two tables here. But if you invested $100 in any of these 4 well-known app companies when they were startups, your returns would have been $160,000 on Snapchat and up to $2 million on Airbnb on $100.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Now, I see that the last opportunity to invest in these was Snapchat in 2012. Are there still opportunities to invest in startups?
Yeah, in fact, if you look at table 2 here now, there's going to be another 1.4 million apps hit the app stores between now and 2020. So there's going to be apps coming out of the woodwork that you can invest in that are going to change everybody's lives. And that's what I do at Trophy Investing, is I'm looking for the top apps, for the members to be involved with. Mm-hmm.
Well, the business has changed, because to be involved in startups years ago, you had to know somebody. You had to be on the inner circle. That's no longer the case. I guess now anyone can invest in a startup, right?
That's right. What's happened, the SEC lifted a ban that had been in place since 1933 in 2016, allowing the public to invest in startups. So anybody in the world except for countries of the UK and Canada can invest into a startup. And in the United States, on almost all the crowdfunding platforms, you can put $100 in startups. And that's in the United States. And it's real simple and easy. You can use your credit card or your debit card to go purchase into a startup.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, you recommend that people should limit themselves with startups to $100 or $1,000. Why?
Because startups have exciting upside potential, they are risky, and 75% of all startups have historically failed. If you look at it over the last 20 years or so, 75% will fail. So what you want to do is you want to own 20 of them. You want to put $100 in 20 of them.
Gotcha.
You don't want to put all your money in one startup, because all it takes is one startup to work, and it can build generational wealth for you, as I already showed you in the table before with Snapchat and Uber and Airbnb and WhatsApp.
Well, tell us a little bit about trophy investing.
Trophy investing is an investing community that excels at finding startups that are going to multiply in value over the next several years. And what we do is we find the startups, we write up research reports on them, we produce videos on them to introduce the investor to the startup. And then after the investor's invested in the startup, we continue to follow the startup. Okay, so you can follow your startups and you can invest, you can learn all about the companies, and we'll continue to keep you updated.
To get more information about trophy investing, go to the MoneyTV.net website, click on e-alert, you'll see that at the website, and you'll see information there about trophy investing. Also subscribe to our newsletter, the e-alert newsletter, and that'll end up in your email box every week. Michael, this is exciting. I know we're going to begin a series of these interviews with you over the next several weeks. Thanks so much for joining us.
Okay, thank you, Don.
This week on the Money Wrap radio program, we're going to talk a little bit about Sears. Yep, they're still around. To find a radio station near you, to just listen online, go to the website moneywrap.com. Call us right now, toll free from anywhere in the world, 888-259-4449 for free information about our featured guests. When you do call, be sure and ask to be added to the subscription list of our Money TV newsletter. Again, toll free from anywhere in the world, 888-259-4449. Visit us at moneytv.net. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. That's our show this week. As always, we'll be back next week. Thanks so much for joining us.